attending today. And our presentation will go for about an hour, from about 3:15 to roughly 4:15. So I have the pleasure today to host a panel discussion on the topic of Africa and sort of the individual cultures represented by our students. We have panelists who are representing the different countries. Sam Ogunleye and Andy Sopehi are representing Nigeria, and Alice Naimi and Adia Asman are representing Kenya today. These panelists have agreed to speak about some of the misinformation they have encountered in media and elsewhere, in the hopes of dispelling stereotypes and providing a richer and more accurate view of Africa and its many countries and the cultural differences represented there. They will also discuss their countries and heritage, their own personal experience, in order to help us see Africa not as a single homogeneous country or continent, but as a varied cultural tapestry. We recognize that there are many different voices within every group, and we have only these 4 people representing, of course, whole countries and talking about a whole continent. Yet in these personal viewpoints and experiences, we hope to learn more about the larger world. Also, our hope is that this panel will provide all of you with information about Africa and specifically about Kenya and Nigeria. We want to give you all a chance to discuss these issues in a safe and moderated environment and let you know that your voices and opinions are important. It can take courage for students to sit or stand before others and discuss their personal lives and their backgrounds and their viewpoints. So we expect and appreciate your respect during today's presentation. We don't expect everyone to agree with everything that might be brought up in the room today. Instead, we ask that you listen as the Benedictines that we are, with the ear of your heart and with our Benedictine values in mind. So each of the panelists will introduce him or herself in about a 3 to 5 minute personal introduction, where he or she will talk about background, countries, and the issues that are most important to them. And then following that, we'll have a question and answer period where you can ask questions of our panelists. And I'll help to moderate that and call on people as you raise your hands for questions. So to begin, Andy has some slides to share with us. So let's give a warm welcome, please, to Andy.
So I just have like 5 to 6 pictures to show you guys. To express the misconceptions you guys see on media that you guys don't know about. So first, say Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. It's made up of 56 different countries. Because I've had students come up to me and talk about Africa like it's just one place, on the second one, Africa is not what it looks like. I guess that's basically one. So. And also, Africa is not defined by quality, because most people just assume that I've heard this being said to me. It's it's as a joke. It's not being serious, but it's kind of a preconceived idea about Africa that there's a lot of poverty. So some people can just say randomly me in the cafeteria just eating, and they're oh, don't waste food. There are a lot of starving kids in Africa. And I'm I know that there are a lot of starving people in America too. And then Africa is not a jungle, it's filled with Africa is not a jungle filled with wild animals. This is pretty funny too, because so when I came out of freshman, a student of my grade came up to me and he was like, "Oh, you're from Africa, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "So do you ride on lions?" And it was pretty funny to me. Because actually the first time I've actually seen a lion is when I came here. As a ninth grader. And then people always confuse me still because they call to me and they're like, "Do you speak African?" I'm like, "You speak?" And like African is not a language, and they're like estimated about 2,000 languages like spoken in Africa. So they're like different tribes. Um, not Africans and fast runners. I know because of Usain Bolt. Like, and then everyone like the Ken, we can, yeah, because like I like the long distance runs. And I'll go on this side. Yeah, I think I already know what you're doing. Africans do not look alike, and then practice they Africans are more genetically diverse than the habitats of the rest of the world combined. Thank you.
My name is Olain Kalble, for those of you who don't know. So I've heard people talk about Africa, they just feel like everything's all about poverty in Africa, and I think Africa is more than it's not defined by poverty like in the show. Already. I think Africa is a very very rich country, blessed with so many mineral resources like petroleum, bitumen, gold, and so on. Africa is actually really, really rich, even in terms of money. What Africa is actually lacking is good government. Because our elders, I think they're like really, 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 I'll just say they're like that. They don't really care about the people. All they care about is just making the money for themselves. So, and it's very, very painful when people like talk about Africa outside, like especially when I came to the United States and be like, oh, Africa is poor. I'd be like, I've even heard like one of politicians from Nigeria once said like, Nigeria is the place that you go to bed a poor man and wake up the next morning a billionaire. So that's how much money. That's how rich Nigeria is, or other African country. That's how rich Africa is. But like people don't know about this. They just feel like, oh, Africa doesn't have anything. They just poor people everywhere. They show it on the media, showing kids with flies on their face, skinny kids. It's I've never seen anything like that before, and I grew up in Africa, so I don't know where they get those pictures from. It probably from where war is happening or something. I don't know, but it's just really really sad, like seeing something like that, like just that. But I guess because people don't really know much about Africa. So the Africa is not poor. I just want to put that out. We lack good government. We don't have good government. Like our leaders, they're like bad. They just make all the money for themselves. So I just want you guys to know that. Yeah, Africa is not like there's a lot of money in Africa, like, but it's not evenly shared. Like some people just back it for themselves. So yeah.
My name is Alice Naini. I come from Kenya, central part of Kenya, and as you have heard, Africa, it is not a country. It is a continent which have many countries, like 56 countries. And I come from one of the countries in Africa, which is Kenya. So I'll talk a little bit about Kenya. Kenya, we have 42 tribes, and we have 42 tribes, and we have different counties. So everybody come from like different backgrounds. From my father is a Maasai. It is one of the tribe in Kenya, and my mom is a Kikuyu. Still a tribe from Kenya, and since Kikuyu and Maasai coming together, it means like we are somehow united since we can interact with each other. And as Sam is trying to tell us, Africa, it is not just about poverty. It is about poor governance. Since even in my country, we lack good leaders, but we are learning so that we can be good leaders and maybe go there and change. You will just wonder one day hearing like Africa is the best continent like in the world. Yeah, since we are coming up, it is one of the challenges that have been there. So, but as for us, we are trying like to come up, and I love my country, that is Kenya, and I'm proud to be in Africa. And there we have beautiful scenarios which we are proud of. We are proud of them, and okay, since everyone can't be equal, and there are these people like from high social class like that, and they are the ones who are in governance, like in leadership positions. So when they are there, they are just, they don't want like to share like that. So that's why maybe we can see in the interior part, maybe where we come from, that's where the poverty is, but it doesn't mean like all of us we are just poor like that, but it is lack of poor governance.
Good evening. I'll just emphasize on what they said. Andy talked about Africans are not all the same. So, as she said, we have 54 countries in that continent. And if you have a notebook, this is a fact you must put down. So, Africa is the second continent in the whole world. And it's like about 30.2 million kilometers squared. So it's huge. So I think it has even, I think, a good shape. If you can look at it, it looks like that. So for me, it's a beautiful shape. And I think if you are a historian, it's where you should be, because there are many things to study about. To have one country like Kenya, we have 42 tribes. That's only one country out of 54 countries. So if you want to research on something, you can get many things out of it. And in that tribes, every tribe has its own language. So Africans don't talk one language. If I talk my language, Alice will not understand me, because just imagine we come from the same country, but Alice will not understand me. So to bring these differences, every country tries to bring one common language, one national language. So, and again, to organize all these tribes into one groups, in Kenya we have these three general groups, the Kushites, the Bantus, and the Nilotes, just to differentiate them. And all these are the work of historians. So it's a great chance for historians, and I think they are trying to bring all these countries together. So we have COMESA Union. This is a trade union. Like some of the African countries come together for trade, and they bring this export and import, sorry. So we try to export and import goods from each other's countries. So they're trying to help each other to grow, and there are so many talents in Kenya, the Maasai are good at beads, and there's a tribe in Nigeria which are good in circus. I think so. I'm not so good in Nigeria and the Western countries, but they can tell you more. But so in Kenya, in Africa, we have the Western countries, Northern countries, and the South African countries, and the Eastern countries. So they are divided into 4 parts like that. The Northern countries are the Middle East, so I can say little about them. What I know is their trade activities, and the Western countries, they'll tell you more. I know by now they must be ready to share more about Nigeria and Western countries, but I know more of the Eastern countries. So in Eastern countries, we have 8 countries. In Eastern Africa, we have the Burundi, Rwanda. These 2 just joined us recently, but we used to be Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. So that's it. Sorry. Somalia. Okay, sorry. Somalia, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi. Sorry, they were 6. So we are 6 Eastern African countries, but so the difference is East African countries are only 3: Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. But Eastern African countries are 6. Did you get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the difference. And the East African countries, that's in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, they share a lot. The Ugandans depend on petroleum from Kenya and many things from Kenya. And when you want to go to Uganda, you don't need a passport. You don't need a visa the way we do to come to America. So you can just go. I can go to Ethiopia. I've been to Ethiopia. So it's easier to go to those countries for us because there's that good relationship between us and them. And we have AU. This is another union, which is, I think in Africa, the only country which is not in AU is Morocco. So all the others, when they need to do something together, they come together, and this is like bringing all the leaders from these African countries together. And I think this is bringing the unity among the Africans. So we have many things in common. I think Andy and Sam, are you ready to?
I'll just talk about Nigeria a little bit. Yes, Nigeria is a beautiful place. Used to be peaceful before Boko Haram started bombing. I still think it's all about government, all this bombing and stuff. Because I hate Nigeria government so much. Yeah, talking about jungle and stuff. Nigeria, like, go to Lekki. These are name of cities, like places in Nigeria. Go to Lekki, Magodo. All these places are like just extremely beautiful. Go to Port Louis, Luanda in Angola, Cape Town in South Africa, Johannesburg. All these places are like beautiful cities, but like media don't often show that on TV and newspaper. All they show is animals, lion and jungle. They just give it to you guys and be like, oh, that's Africa. So like Nigeria, we have different languages. So like the main 3 languages are Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. I speak Yoruba. You speak Yoruba too, but like you're from Benin, right? So if you started speaking Benin right now, I won't understand what it's saying. So yes, Africa is just like diverse like that. So they like so many languages. So But we have Pidgin English, which is like general, like a broken. It's like English, but it's like broken one. So we used to like communicate with other tribes through that. We can all like relate to that Pidgin English. We can. So it's more like if I want to say alpha, what's up, I would be like alpha. So it means like what's up. So yeah, so we just like break it down like that. And the official language in Nigeria is English. So they teach in school because we are actually colonized by Britain. So the main official language is English, and education system is six. Yes, 6, 3, 3, 4, which means prime 1 to prime 6, GS1 to GS3, SS1 to SS3, then university 4 years. Uh, yeah, and like so many foods in Nigeria, really good foods. And we're very cultural as well. In terms of marriage, if you want to like marry any, like if a guy wants to marry a girl, so that person will have to pay like a bride price. So we need to like pay, yeah, the female family some money. You brings like some food stuff to their place, like yam and other stuff, and it's always like really really big marriage ceremony. It's like really big in Nigeria, like they kill cows and like invite so many people there, like a big space and music and everything. Uh, so musically, like we have different type of music. Before it used to be like these African songs. It's called Apala, Fuji, and High Life. So that's like basically most like the strongest music like back in the days, but like it's new age. It's like modern Africa now. So they like bring everything into hip hop. So they call it Afro hip hop. So yeah, which is like basically what is raining right now, which is what African music is about, Afro hip hop, and it's really big. They like doing collaboration with American artists like Akon. Recently Jay Z's brother went to like Nigeria to like scout some talent, whatever. I don't know, but it was in Nigeria. Like many American artists like come to Nigeria like very often to like perform. So I know if like these people can like talk about Nigeria, they will be like, oh, it's so different than what I used to see on media about. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's just different the way they used to like portray it in the media, like yeah. And the people they're like super awesome. Like I'm not trying to say I'm but I actually grew up in Nigeria. Like what the way I present myself right now is how I grew up, is how what my parents taught me, how they brought me up. So yeah. And in Nigeria you have to like show a lot of respect for people that like older than you, like your elders. I can remember my sophomore year I saw Mike carrying like these 2 bucks and I just collected from him. It was like yeah, because like in Nigeria, when you see like an elderly person carrying stuff, you have to like get it from them and help them with it. So, and my very first year, it was actually difficult for me to like call people that are like older than me, like by the name. But that's the way it is. Yeah, it's like because like in Nigeria, you have to like my sister, I have to like call her auntie. Her name is Esther. I have to be like Auntie Esther. I can just call her Esther. So it's like really hard for me when I first came here to like talk to people who are like call them by their name. So yeah, we have to like show respect for like your elders. Yeah.
So we've had a chance for a wonderful introduction, some of the bigger issues, and then some of the more personal stories to tell too. But let's go ahead and open it up for questions, the kinds of questions you have. And I put everybody's name here if you have a question for a specific panelist, or if you have a question that's just for the group in general, you can preface it that way too. Who wants to start?
What has been the most surprising thing, both coming to this country but also at the Priory for you? Has there been something surprising that you didn't expect?
I think the love. Like I received so much love when I came in here. It's amazing. Like it's incredible. Like me being away from my family, I just got here to like where I actually know nobody except from I didn't really know him that much in Nigeria. I actually get to know him more when I get in. So I was like, okay, I'll just go when I get in. Like people show me love. That was amazing. Yeah.
Same with him too. It was really nice when I came there. Like everyone was like helping me out. And like I was going out of like my dorm room with like my computer on the desk without worrying to like close my door or like lock it because everyone was just like super nice. No one's gonna take your stuff without telling you. And it was just nice.
Just wanted to ask, and for everyone, even if you haven't been here for very long, just something that was different culturally. You know, like you saw, we do here that is not the same as what you do in your home countries.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that already. Like in Nigeria, you have to like show respect for your elders. You can call them by their name. It's like disrespectful. If you're not gonna guess like or something, like, yeah, it's just and like yeah, like my school in Nigeria, like when I got it, like I've heard like some students be like, oh, one teacher is mean, and be like, I'm like, I don't think so, because like come to Nigeria, I used to like mean teachers. Like, because like if you didn't do your homework, your teacher can like beat you or they can like beat them like but yeah, if you don't do your homework, you just be like, oh, I don't know. It's like they're not like really me. I'll be like, teachers are not mean. I don't think they're mean. Because I don't Nigeria is like mean teachers. Like in Nigeria, you can like I think relationship like that students and teachers have, right? It's like it's very nice. Like you can just like, oh, we stand with your teacher and be like, but like in Nigeria, like you have to show some respect even if you're addressing your TV, like talking to your teacher, you have to like show some respect, like yeah. So you can't just do whatever you want in front of your teacher, like you can't just be like that. You have to like your teacher is around, you have to be very good. So yeah.
Does anyone else want to answer that question?
It's true because a teacher in class cannot tell you keep quiet more than one time. The next time you are thrown out to go home and you call your parents. So it's that serious. When you get late, then I remember in my elementary school we used to be beaten up using a cane from a toss, a bucket toss. So it was that tough, but here it's very different because that's social with the teacher. You can even talk, you can email a teacher, and that's not there.
Yeah, and I also think us, we are so hardworking. Usually, I just came here to realize, like, we come to school at 8, classes are starting at 5, but it is so different from us. And like us, we're supposed like to wake up latest 6, to go to class. The lessons end 4:35. Then we're supposed to go and sleep earliest 9:35 and latest 11. So I think it is one of the difference that I have seen. And in most schools, in all schools in Kenya, we are not allowed to go with phones to class. Yeah, we are not advanced like a bit. We don't have computers in class, and yeah,
I think this is motivating because just the way you do here, the Rwanda students have computers in class, and actually that motivated like our president, and he was like, yeah, we should also have so computers in class. So I felt like this is another African country motivating another African country, and it felt like yeah, we are helping each other and we are doing something. So I think we are the third developing country. So that country.
This is for the girls. When you go back to school, what is it that you think the girls are going to want to know about from your experience? How are you going to explain to them in a way that they can understand? Because you've had the experience. I'm wondering what would that look like.
I know they are eagerly waiting to hear what we got from here. So it was kind of, how will I put it? It was kind of, we didn't know what we like have here, and we were just coming. And according to many students in school, they were saying, okay, you'll be different. How will you be treated? And they were just asking themselves those questions. So the first thing we just get is to share with them the love that we got here. It was so surprising, as some have just said. It was just surprising that I feel at home when I'm here. Even I don't want to go back because of the love, caring, and concern that everyone here have shown. And not only here, but all the people that I have met since I came. So it have just been amazing to be here. And I felt at home at the airport, just seeing how people are there. And I felt, okay, it will be a great time for me to be here.
So will you come back then, you think? When you're a little bit older, yeah, you'll come back again and visit?
Yes. Yeah, I think it is not a place just to be left like that. I have to come back since it is like a home now, since of every day. Yeah.
We had a question here and then over there.
Yeah, I was wondering if each of you would share a little bit about your families, brothers, sisters.
Yeah, sure. My family is like pretty small. It's just me and my sister, my dad and my mom. Then my dad passed away a few years before I came to Priory, so it's just me, my sister, and my mom. And Nigeria is like more like extended family, than like yeah, brothers, uncles. It's just like that. Like it's like family is like always like very very small. Like I think they're like some of my cousins I don't even know them. Like if I like see them, so I'll be like, well, oh, your name is Ogunleye today. I will relate because I will actually like know like straight up, oh, this is my cousin, this is my so yeah. So they're like it's just like that. In my family, I'm from like a royal family, like in my town. Like my dad is from a royal family. Which that Ogunleye is like the royal family. And in Nigeria, we used to like have so many names. Like I think most people like your grandparent would like to give you name when the baby is born. Like your grandparent would like, oh, I must give this baby my own name. Because extended family, uncles, everyone. Like me, I have like 7 names.
Well, and Sam is your Priory American
Yeah,
name,
like
so.
because you people can like pronounce. So
Could you
yeah,
tell us
so
your full African name?
okay, yeah, sure. So one of my name is Olayinka Adibowale Afolabi. Afolabi. Yeah, Korede. I said Olayinka already, right? Samuel. And yeah, Ogunleye. So I just have one name. So yeah, and my sister, I'm very pretty much close to my sister. Like she's my homie. But like super close, like really really close. Like sometimes I wonder like some siblings right here, they don't like get along. They be like, oh, I'm not close to my brother. I'm like, how is that even possible? Why are you not close to your brother? Why you like because like people like so much independent right here. I don't know somehow. But like I'm very close to my sister. Like we get along very, even though she's a female. And my parents, are like, I think they give her more freedom than me because I don't know. They think she make like good decisions than I do. Because like, I don't know for some reason. I'll be like, oh, I'm a guy. She's a girl. Like, shut up, okay. Yeah, because like I don't think my parents because like sometimes I've like put them through some crazy stuff. Like, cause like I can remember when I was 7 years, they gave me a coin. I was playing with it on my bed, and all of a sudden, I don't know, one of the coins ended up in my throat. It was crazy. Then I didn't tell anyone. I just ran into the restroom and tried to like force it out there because I was so scared. So I just sat down, and before I knew it, blood started coming out of my mouth, and my mom was almost went crazy. She was so afraid. So like they don't like let me like It's like no, you're going nowhere. You just have to stay because yeah. And like I think now in Nigeria, I think in Africa, they're like women empowerment, right? That's what they call it.
Empowerment.
Yeah, empowerment. It's like female children right now are now getting education. So it's not like the way it used to be. Like people used to talk about, oh, African girls don't go to school, and you know, they're like getting good education. Now my sister she's a student, so and I've seen so many female students like doing great. So yeah, that's my family.
And your family?
I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters. I have an older brother and an older sister, then an older brother, and then me, and then 2 younger sisters. That's all.
Yeah, and also like in Nigeria, I think if okay, as from for example, like families like have power like over their I don't know like brothers, like siblings, property and stuff like that. Because like for my dad, if someone died without having his or her will before that person died, like family can like make decision like oh it's our brother we can like I'm saying this from my own perspective, like from there, like family can like make decision about that person property, if that person fits like having it before that. That's just the way it is like family like oh, it's ours. Like wife can be like, no, this is my husband property if that person doesn't have a will before the person dies. So yeah. It's just Africa.
Alice, your family?
Yes, I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. I'm the third born in my family, and our firstborn is a girl, our second-born is a boy. I'm the third born. Our fourth-born is a girl, fifth-born is a girl, and sixth-born is a girl. Our last-born is a boy. So our last-born has 7 years. Our first-born 24 years. And we live in the central part of Kenya. Previously, we lived in the northern part of Kenya, but we moved there because of wars and things like that. But now we live in the central part of Kenya. As I have both parents, my mom and my dad, we live happily. Yes, and my other relatives are there, but in different parts of Kenya.
I come from a family of 4. My mother is a single mother. Then I have my sister, my brother who's the firstborn, my sister, then I'm the lastborn. But the house is for everybody. So I come from where it's quite different from here because I come from a place where you wake up and you open the doors wide open. If my cousin comes, he's able to go, and if anything is in the house, he goes and cooks for himself. If nobody's there, if a girl is not there, so if I'm there, my brother is not supposed to cook or even to wash the dishes or even to wash the house, and the girls are supposed to cook, which is quite different because here I see men cooking and I see men washing dishes, and it's quite awkward for me because my brother could not do that. Or even, yeah, I'm supposed to wash all the clothes of my brother, and even if I'm living with my sister, all the clothes of my in-law. So the girl is supposed to do the things which I see here the men can do for themselves. And so the house is left open and the doors are not closed. So anybody, all my cousins come to our home and they do everything. So we live like an extended family. So it's a big family of 13, but the biological children are